guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin. I am a bridal makeup artist and just an overall makeup lover, enthusiast. I just love everything about makeup. So I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. I have my first PR package ever from Sigma Beauty. Somebody from their influencer team reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in joining their influencer program and also receiving some products from them. They also did give me a discount code. So if you want to save 10% on Sigma, you can use the code GLAMBYDEV and that will save you 10% on your order. Can't believe that. But anyway, I just thought it would be really fun to sit down and go through these products. Sigma is one of my all-time favorite brands. I have so many of their brushes in my kit. I have so many of their products in my personal collection already. So if you want to see me just go through this box of goodies from Sigma, then let's just get right into it. Okay, so we've got a little bit of everything in this box, honestly. We have makeup, we have brushes, and then we also have some brush cleaning stuff as well. So right off the bat, let's talk about this. This is their Sigma Spa Express Brush Cleaning Matte. So just a bunch of different textures. I feel like these grittier ones are really good for kind of your foundation brushes, your cream products, like anything that you're using with a cream, your gel eyeliner, those are a little bit harder to get out. And then this bigger one over here, like this is a little bit more gentler on your powder brushes where you don't have as much just product caked into the bristles, you know? And then it's got these suction cups on the back here. So I'm so excited about this, honestly, because you can just suction cup it into the sink and it stays in place. And then you just like scrub your brushes on top and rinse them out. So I am constantly cleaning brushes. I have enough brushes in my pro kit to do up to 8 people in one shot. I never spot clean brushes on a job. I use a clean brush on everybody for every single time I pick one up, basically. So I am always deep cleaning them after every wedding, and it's a lot of brushes. So this will definitely be put to good use very soon. And then staying on that brush cleaning kick for a second, this is their Sig Magic Brush Shampoo Foam. I have used this before. It is very good. It does get my brushes nice and squeaky clean. So I am very grateful to them for sending me this because I will absolutely be using this. I mean, I could probably go through this bottle after, you know, in 3, 4, 5 weddings. Like I'm just constantly washing my brushes. So what else? There's a bunch of brushes in here, which I'm really excited about because actually the majority of the Sigma brushes that I own, I have some in my personal collection, but because they're so good, I have put a lot of them in my kit and just been like, I'm going to put the best brushes that I own in my kit and then save some of my like more affordable ones for me to use on myself. This is a special PR package for me, so I am going to keep these for my own personal collection and get to have some of that bougie Sigma brush experience for myself in my own makeup routine as well. So some of these I recognize, some of them are ones that I already have and love like in my kit, but some of them are ones I haven't tried. So first, let's do the F25 tapered face. It's a large tapered brush head with a precise tip. Place powder products onto the cheeks and temples with precision. This feels nice and fluffy, which is what I really love for powder bronzer. So I'm excited about that. And these, I can't say enough just about the way that these like feel in your hand. They have a heavier weight to them. You can just tell that they are well made. You really can. Because I've talked about Sigma brushes so much. I've had so many makeup artists over the past couple of years be like, is it worth it? Like their brushes or da da da. Yes. They're worth it. First of all, they have a pro discount. So if you're a makeup artist, don't use my code, get your pro discount and get like 30 or 40% off. And I'm just gonna say this one more thing and then I'll stop rambling and I'll tell you guys about these brushes. But they have I think it's a 2-year warranty on their brushes. So they're like flat top kabuki foundation brush. Do I have it? No, I don't have one sitting here with me. I have like 6 of those in my kit and I use them every time I do somebody's makeup. And a couple of them, from washing them after every makeup application and stuff like that, the glue did loosen a little bit and the bristles started to pop out. This wasn't right away. This was after having them and like using and abusing them at weddings in my kit for a couple years. They started to fray and one of them, like the glue loosened so much that the entire like top of the brush just popped out. I emailed them, I sent them pictures. They sent me 2 brand new brushes to replace the 2 for free. It is worth it, especially in a situation like that. I didn't have to spend $40 or $50 to buy 2 new brushes. They just sent them to me for free to replace them because of the warranty. So guys, I'm telling you, it's so worth it. And once you try these brushes, you won't go back. Next up, we have the F47 Multitasker for the face. Quickly apply foundation, blush, or contour. I like on the back here, it's got like all these facts and features. It is a wide angled brush head. The recommended use is to blend liquid foundation, contour the cheekbones, or buff powder products. If I turn the brush to the side, you can see that it's a nice like tapered angle here. And what this is really good for is getting like right up around the cheekbone to really sculpt out your face. Moving on, this is the Sigma F40 large angled contour. This is what I use for blush a ton. I do have a couple of these in my kit. I guess you could use this for powdered contour as well, but I mainly use it for blush. I like to just take a brush like this, kind of flip it on its side and just work in the blush, just like right up the cheekbone, and it's beautiful. And it's nice and fluffy too. Sometimes I can be a little heavy-handed with blush, so the first dab, it'll be like, ooh. Whoops. And this brush is really nice and soft and fluffy, so you can really spread that product out and blend it out if you get a little too much on your face or on your client's face at that first touch. So that's really nice. Next, we have the F03. This is called the High Cheekbone Highlighter. To apply and blend highlighters, unique feature is the beveled Sigmax fibers. And the recommended use is to apply and buff cream or powder highlighter down the nose, chin, and cheekbones. I was gonna say that I thought maybe it would be like a concealer brush, which I suppose it definitely could be. You don't have to use brushes in the way that they're recommended. You can use them however you want if it works for you. But I do feel like this is just the right size to kind of highlight your cheekbones. Yeah. I like it. Next, we have the F64 Soft Blend Concealer. So I think maybe this is the brush that I thought that other one was in terms of usage. Oh, that looks so nice. Look at how pretty and like tapered that looks. I feel like it's shaped really well just to get like right up under here to blend out your concealer. I pretty much always blended out my concealer with a sponge, but I have been trying to get into the blending out your concealer with a brush game. When I first started doing makeup, like 2016, 2017 era, getting into YouTube, getting into learning how to do makeup on others, it was beauty blenders all the time, right? So I always use a beauty sponge to blend out my own foundation and my own concealer. I would even blend out like my cream bronzer and stuff like that. But I have been recently really liking using a brush. I feel like you can just get a little bit more precise. I can never be without my beauty blender. I still need them. Anyway, that was a really long-winded way of saying I'm excited to try using my concealer with this. Okay, and then it looks like we have a couple eye brushes left. So this is the E42 Precision Firm Blender, and it says blend colors into the crease or combine shades for customizable color. This reminds me of the Morphe M506. I feel like this is her older, more sophisticated sister. So you can kind of see this is really good as just like a detailed blending brush. So what I would use this brush a lot for, this would be blending darker eyeshadows on the outer corner where I didn't want it to kind of go everywhere, if I didn't want it to go up into the crease, or if I wanted to kind of smoke out an eyeliner a little bit, or to smoke out the lower lash line and keep it really tight and tapered again so it doesn't come out so far. So really handy brush to have in both your pro kit or in your personal kit if you like some of that more detailed smoky element to your eyeshadow. All right, then we've got the E25 blending, which I feel like I have. This like E25 number sounds familiar to me. Apply and combine shadow shades. The unique feature is that it's a slightly firm, rounded brush head, and the recommended use is to blend colors onto the lid and buff out harsh lines. So yeah, get more precise in the outer corner and in the crease, but it's still fluffy enough to really blow those shadows out or even go underneath your eyeshadow if you want a little bit more of that blown out smoky look on the lower lash line as well. A brush like this is really great for that because it's thin at the top, so you still can get some precision with it, but again, it's fluffy enough where it's really gonna help you blend those shadows out and not keep them so concentrated in one area, if that makes sense. And then lastly, we have the E36, again, a really beautiful detailed blending brush. So I would say this will offer you even a little bit more precision than this one. This was that E42 that I was just talking about. I would use this E36 for very similar functions, but again, this one is very fluffy but a little bit thinner, so it's gonna help you blend out the shadows a little bit more. So if you want more of a lighter blend, like if you want just a light touch of color underneath the eyes or just a light touch of color in the outer corner, that's what I would use this for. This one still has a fair amount of density to it, so you still are gonna get a pretty decent color payoff when you use this, even though it's a smaller blending brush. So thank you for listening to me nerd out a little bit over these brushes. But just look at this. This is a beautiful little collection here. I feel like I could almost do a full face with these. I'm like a kid in a candy store opening this PR package right now. So, okay, let's talk about some of the makeup items now. So I have a cream blush, a highlighter, and a powder blush, and then a lip cream, a lip oil, and then one of their little mini eyeshadow palettes. So first we have the cream blush in the shade Pashmina, which I don't have any of my makeup in here because I didn't do my makeup on camera today, but my favorite blush palette, like pretty much ever, is my Sigma Corte Rosa blush palette, and this shade in powder form is in that palette, and it's actually the blush that I have on my cheeks today. Here is that. I do think that the powder color that's in my palette is a little bit more pink and a little less peach than this one, but maybe it just looks a little bit more peach in the pan and applies a little bit more pink. But either way, really excited to try this formula. I feel like I definitely have been a late bloomer in the cream blush game. I don't have a ton of cream blushes in my possession. I did just buy myself one of these e.l.f. ones, but like I've never tried the Rare Beauty ones. The only cream blushes that I really have are, I had a couple e.l.f. putty ones at one point, and then I also have my ColourPop blush sticks, which I do like, but I definitely could up my cream blush game. I love blush, but I've just always been such a powder girl that I don't know, blush has been one of those things. It's like one of the last things I put on, so by the time I think about doing cream blush, honestly, a lot of times I've already set my face and I have forgotten to do it. Then we have this really beautiful blush. It's called Tiger Lily, but just a stunning, so this is like a glowy blush. I think it's actually also in their blush palette that's just labeled blush, because I think I have this in my kit as well. I depotted it, but I do think I have this color in my kit, and it is so beautiful. Again, for that peachy pink blush as a blush topper because of that beautiful sheen. Like I said, I do think I have this in my kit already, just in the Sigma blush palette, so I might give this to my sister, but I can attest that I've used this shade a ton and I love it. And then lastly, we have one of their powder highlighters. So I have their Glow, I think it's called the Glow Kissed palette. That's the highlighter palette that I use in my kit. Again, I depotted it. I'm not sure if this is a shade in there or not, but this is the shade Sizzle, and honestly, this looks like a perfect highlighter for me. I like a bright, blinding, icy highlight, but I do like it to have a slightly warmer gold undertone to it. I just think that looks a little bit better on my skin tone, especially if I have a little bit of a fake tan going on, than something that is more silvery. I do prefer a gold undertone or like a champagne undertone in my highlighters. So this I will definitely be keeping for myself. I am very excited about that. Next, I have their Renew Lip Oil in the shade Tint. I had this in the clear maybe like a year or two ago. Oh my gosh, look at that color. Such a good nude. Oh wait, look at that. Let's do this for the satisfying moment. Look at this. Doesn't that look so juicy? It's got the nice like fat applicator. It reminds me of the applicator for the NYX. I think they're literally called like the NYX fat oils or something. I love a good chubby lip applicator. This is such a beautiful nude that I could put this over top of pretty much any nude lipstick, and I feel like it would look beautiful as well. So that's that. It looks juicy and delicious. And then I also have this Sigma lip cream. They both say that they are enriched with jojoba oil, sunflower seed oil, and vitamin E. So you've got some really nice nourishing ingredients in there as well. This is more of like a liquid lip formula, but again, look at that. What a gorgeous nude. I feel like for me, this is such a perfect, both of these are really good, like My Lips But Better shades. So I feel like I will use these a ton. One more makeup item, and then there's one more just like Sigma item in this box. So this is the mini version of their new Mod eyeshadow palette. I have quite a few Sigma eyeshadow palettes in my collection at this point. I want to say it's got to be at least 4 or 5. I don't know if it was 2023 or even 2022 that they started to do these minis, but they have their bigger pan palettes. It's essentially like 2 rows of this, you know, and then they started coming out with these minis. So this one, as you can see, pinky, rosy, undertone color story. Anytime I do my makeup in this type of color story, I always end up liking it. But when I'm like buying myself a palette, just visually, I always am drawn towards kind of like the warm neutrals. Sigma literally has a palette called Warm Neutrals that I am obsessed with. So I don't have as much of these pinky neutral undertone eyeshadows in my collection. So I'm actually really happy to have this, especially like, look at the shade here in the middle, Avant Garde. Doesn't that look like such a beautiful duochrome? I don't know. I feel like I could get some pretty beautiful looks out of this. So that's that. And then lastly, we have this cool little thing here called the Sigma Switch. So I actually do already own one of these. And I will say, if you film YouTube videos, this is fantastic for filming days, especially if you're doing multiple looks, because you can essentially clean the colors off of your brushes right there without having to wet them or wash them or anything, and use the same brush for multiple colors. Like for example, I'm using this brush, right? My beautiful Sigma E25 blending. This is such a versatile brush for blending that you could use it for multiple purposes and multiple shades in an eye look. So let's say that I use this and I'm going to maybe set my lid with this shade Preppy. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna set down my eyeshadow primer. Now I've got this color Preppy all over. You come into your Sigma switch, come right up to this eyeshadow section here, clean my brush off. It takes the powder color right off of your brush, and then it's clean and good to go. So now I can come over here to the shade New Mod and work into my crease. And then when I'm done doing that, I can clean it off, and then I can come over here to the shade Edgy, and I can deepen up my outer corner, you know, all with the same brush. So this really does come in handy when you're filming, especially if you're doing multiple videos in one day or multiple looks in one day. Or again, if you're working on one look, but you want to use the same brush for different reasons. And then there's a whole bunch of different sections on here. You have a bunch of different textures that are supposed to work better with different, like if you wanted to clean off your foundation brush and use that again for something, you could do that with kind of like this cream section. So this is probably something else that I will give to my sister, just because I already have one and I don't feel like I need two, but it is such a fantastic tool. Like Sigma, here's the thing about Sigma. I think the reason that I genuinely love them so much is just that like their tools are so functional. Like the brushes are so well made and the shapes are so well thought out. They've thought of everything, and they really explain, like, have you ever gotten a brush set and been like, I don't know what to do with any of these brushes? Like, what are all these shapes for? What do I use these all for? The detail that Sigma thinks about with all of their brushes and the variety of brushes that they offer and the versatility of them and how well they last. You guys, I just love them. Like their stuff, it's a home run. It's a home run for me. Definitely have not tried all of their stuff as far as like color cosmetics and stuff like that. So I can't tell you that every single formula from them is amazing or anything like that. I can tell you that what I have tried, I've loved. But the brushes, especially their tools, like just, they are game changing. So once you splurge, I'm telling you, you won't go back. I believe in this brand so much. I adore their brushes. I love them as a pro. I love them as just a makeup lover, and I just can't recommend this brand enough to you guys. So I think I'm done. All right, so if you have gotten to this point in the video, thank you for still being here, and thank you for, quite frankly, just listening to me gush. I really want to thank Sigma for sending me this box. I can't wait to really dive into this stuff. I can't wait to use these brushes and these products in future videos and tutorials and stuff like that, and I'm just really grateful. I'm really grateful. So before you leave, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future uploads from me. You can also follow me at Glam by Devin on Instagram. That's a lot of my bridal work and my client work and stuff like that. But you do see my face on there occasionally as well. So if you're interested in more makeup stuff, you can find me over there. And yeah, that's going to be it. I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.